Hello, and welcome to Ancient Tale Weaver. In our last journey into Hindu mythology, we explored the Mahabharata, a story that, I find, is about complexity. It's a dark, political, bloody civil war, where every hero is flawed, and the line between good and evil is almost impossible to find. It is a story about a world much like our own. But today, I want to tell you the other great epic of India, a story that is its perfect opposite. This is not a story about complexity. It is a story about idealism. It is the story of the perfect man who marries the perfect woman and who, together, fight the perfect evil. It is the story of dharma, or the sacred divine duty, a story of a hero who is not a brooding, raging warrior like Achilles, but a calm, noble, and obedient son who accepts a 14-year exile just to protect his father's honor. This is the Ramayana. It is the quest of Prince Rama, the god who walked the earth as a man, and the terrible, epic war he had to fight, to rescue his wife and to save the cosmos itself. But to understand the hero, I must first introduce you to the villain, because in this story, the villain came first. He was Ravana, the king of Lanka. He was not just a king, he was the most powerful and most terrifying being in all of creation. He was a master of science, a master of magic, and a master of the arts. But he was a demon. He was pure, distilled. Adharma, chaos. Years before our story begins, Ravana had performed a series of impossible austerities, meditating for 10,000 years, even offering to sever his own heads, all to please the creator god, Brahma. Brahma, impressed by this, or perhaps terrified of it, offered him a boon, any boon he wanted. Ravana, in his arrogance, smiled. "Grant me," he said, "invincibility. Grant me that I can never be killed by any god, any demon, any serpent, or any divine beast." Brahma agreed. The boon was granted, and Ravana was now unstoppable. He waged war on the heavens. He defeated the gods. He enslaved them. He was the undisputed, tyrannical, evil master of the universe. But in his arrogance, I find he made one tiny, fatal mistake. He asked for invincibility from gods and demons, but he considered mortals, men, to be so weak, so pathetic, and so far beneath him that he didn't even bother to ask for protection from them. And this was the loophole. The gods, defeated, enslaved, went in secret to the great preserver god, Vishnu. "Help us," they begged. "Ravana is destroying the cosmos. You are the only one who can stop him. He is invincible to us, but not to a man." And Vishnu, the great protector, agreed. He would incarnate. He would be born as a mortal man to exploit this one arrogant loophole. At the same time, on Earth, the good King Dasharatha of Ayodhya was in despair. He had 3 wives, but no sons. He had no heir. He too performed a great sacrifice, the Putrakameshti, a fire ritual, begging the gods for a child. A divine being emerged from the fire, holding a golden bowl of sacred, consecrated rice pudding. "Give this to your wives," the being commanded, "and they will bear you the sons you desire." The king gave the pudding to his wives, and soon 4 sons were born: Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, and the eldest, the king's favourite, the one born from the largest portion of the pudding, was Rama. He was perfect. He was the ideal son, the ideal student, the ideal warrior. He was, in fact, the living incarnation of Vishnu. As he grew, he won the hand of the perfect wife, Sita, who herself was an incarnation of the goddess Lakshmi, by famously breaking the divine bow of the god Shiva a weapon no other king could even lift. Rama was the hero. He was the heir. The entire kingdom adored him. His father, Dasharatha, now old, decided it was time. He announced he would crown Rama as the new king. Music shifts. A sudden dark and manipulative tone. The city celebrated, but in the palace, the curse began. Dasharatha's second wife, the beautiful Kaikeyi, was not celebrating. Her evil, hunchbacked maid, Vanara, whispered poison in her ear. "Are you a fool?" she hissed. "If Rama is crowned, you will be a slave. Your son, Bharata, will be a nothing." Kaikeyi's love turned to a cold, jealous ambition. She remembered a promise. Years ago, she had saved the king's life in battle, and he, in his gratitude, had granted her 2 boons. Any 2 things she desired, she had saved those boons. Until now, she went to the king on the very night of the coronation. "My king," she said, her voice like ice, "you remember your oath? The 2 boons?" The king, joyous, said, "Yes, my love, ask anything," and she cashed them in. "My first boon," Kaikeyi said, "is that my son, Bharata, be crowned king instead of Rama." The king froze. What madness is this?" "My second boon," she continued, "is that your perfect son, Rama, be banished from this kingdom, that he be exiled for 14 years. King Dasharatha collapsed. The choice was impossible. He had to either break his sacred oath, his dharma, the worst sin a king can commit, or destroy his kingdom and banish his perfect, beloved son. He was paralyzed. He couldn't speak. And then Rama entered. He saw his father, weeping. He saw his stepmother, her face a mask of triumph. He was told the news, and he, the hero, the demigod, did not get angry. This is the core of his character. He smiled. He calmed his father. "Father," he said, "your oath is your dharma. It is your life. You must not break it. A son is nothing compared to his father's honor. I will go. I will go to the forest. I will go for 14 years. And just like that, he gave up the throne. He walked away. His brother, Lakshmana, his heart broken, refused to leave him. Where you go, I go. And his wife, the Princess Sita, refused to leave him. My place is by your side. And so, the 3 of them, the true king, the true queen, and the true protector, walked out of the gates of Ayodhya and into the wilderness. The years passed, and they were happy. They lived a simple, ascetic life in the forest. They were at peace. They had fulfilled 13 of the 14 years. They were almost home. The curse was almost broken. And that is when the true story begins. It begins with a demoness, Surpanaka, the sister of the demon king Ravana. She was wandering the forest, and she saw Rama. She was instantly consumed with lust. She tried to seduce him. Rama, ever faithful, laughed. "I am married," he said, "but my brother, Lakshmana, is not." Surpanaka, enraged by the rejection, turned on Sita. "It is her, the woman. She is the one I must devour. She lunged at Sita. And Lakshmana, the protector, acted. He drew his sword, and in a flash, he cut off the demoness's nose and ears. Surpanaka, screaming, flew to Lanka. She showed her ruined face to her brother Ravana. "Avenge me!" she shrieked. But she was clever. They have a woman. Sita. She is the most beautiful creature in all of creation, and she is worthy to be your queen. Ravana was intrigued. He, the king of the gods, had to have her. He devised his plan. He sent a demon, Maricha, disguised as a magical golden deer. Sita, who had never asked for anything, saw it, and, for the first time, she wanted something. "Rama," she begged, "please get it for me." Rama, wanting to please her, went. He left Lakshmana to guard her. He chased the deer, but it was a trick. As he finally shot it, the dying demon cried out, in Rama's voice, "Help! Sita, help me, Lakshmana." Sita, hearing this, panicked. "He's in trouble." "Lakshmana, go." Lakshmana knew it was a trick. "My brother is invincible. This is a trap." But Sita was mad with fear. You want him to die," she accused him. "So you can have me!" This broke Lakshmana's heart. "Fine," he said. He drew a line, a protective circle around the hut. The Lakshmana Rekha. "Do not," he commanded. "Step outside this line," and he ran to find his brother. Sita was alone, and Ravana appeared, disguised as a poor, starving, holy man, a sadhu. He begged for alms, he begged for food. Sita was trapped. Her dharma was to obey her husband, stay in the circle, but her other dharma was to feed a holy man. She could not let him starve. She stepped out. The instant her foot crossed the line, Ravana seized her. He dropped his disguise, revealing his true 10-headed, 20-armed, monstrous form. He grabbed the screaming Sita, threw her onto his flying chariot, and flew. The abduction had begun. But I have to tell you about the first hero of this war, Jatayu, a great, ancient, demigod vulture who was a friend of Rama's father. He saw the abduction, and this old, noble bird attacked. He flew with all his might at Ravana's chariot. He tore at the demon. He broke his bow. He was winning. But Ravana, in his rage, drew his massive sword, and he cut off the great bird's wings. Jatayu, dying, fell to the earth. Music fades to a low, sorrowful drumbeat. Ravana was gone. He flew with the screaming Sita all the way back to his fortress in Lanka. When Rama and Lakshmana returned, the hut was empty. The circle was broken. Sita was gone. Rama's calm finally broke. His simple 14-year exile had just become a cosmic war. His quest was no longer to wait. His quest was to find her. Hello, and welcome back to Ancient Tale Weaver. When I left you, the great sin had been committed. Ravana, the 10-headed demon king, had tricked the heroes and abducted the goddess Sita, carrying her away to his fortress of Lanka. Rama and Lakshmana returned to an empty hut. The silence was deafening. I think this is the most important moment in the entire epic. This is the moment the perfect man breaks. Rama, the man who calmly accepted the loss of his kingdom, who smiled at his 14-year exile, could not handle the loss of his wife. He, the incarnation of a god, fell to his knees and wept like a mortal man. His grief was so profound, it became a rage, a cold, divine rage that would, in time, consume the entire world. He stole her, Rama whispered, his voice shaking. He will pay. Lakshmana, ever the protector, his hand white-knuckled on his sword, said, "Brother, we will make him pay." The quest was no longer about waiting out an exile. It was now a rescue mission. And the first clue was found not far from their hut. They found him, Jatayu, the great ancient vulture, the friend of their father. He was lying on the ground, broken, bleeding, his great wings severed. Rama, the noble bird, gasped. I failed. I saw him. It was Ravana, the demon king. He took her. He flew south. Jatayu, with his last breath, described the battle, and then he died. Rama, his heart breaking again, performed the funeral rites for the great bird as if he were his own father. The first hero of the war was dead, but he had given them their first and only clue. South. The two brothers began their long, desperate march south. They had no army, no map, just a direction. They walked for months. Their journey led them to the Kishkinda forest, and this is where the entire fate of the quest changes. This is where Rama, the lonely hero, finally gets his army. He and Lakshmana were walking when they were approached by a strange, powerful-looking being. He was not a human. He was a Vanara, a monkey man, but he spoke with perfect, scholarly language. He was powerful, yet humble. He bowed. "My lords," he said, "my king, Sugriva, has seen you. He wishes to know who you are." This was Hanuman, the son of the wind god, Vayu, a being of immense power, divine wisdom, and perfect, unwavering devotion. And he, I would argue, is the true hero of the Ramayana. Hanuman, who is an avatar of Shiva, instantly recognized Rama, his divine master. He led them to his king, the monkey king, Sugriva. And as they talked, they realized their stories were identical. Sugriva was also a king in exile. His kingdom had been stolen by his brother, Vali. And Vali had not just stolen his throne, he had stolen his wife. Rama, the king who had lost his kingdom and his wife, was now face to face with another king who had lost his kingdom and his wife. The alliance was immediate. "Help me. Kill my brother, Vali," Sugriva begged, "and I and my entire army of Vanaras will find Sita for you. We will search the four corners of the world." Rama, the perfect man of dharma, now had to make a very grey decision. He had to help kill Vali. But Vali was a problem. He was invincible. Or almost. He had a boon from the gods. In any one-on-one fight, he would drain half of his opponent's strength. You couldn't beat him. To fight him was to lose. So, Rama, in one of the most debated acts of the epic, devised a plan. "Sugriva," he said, "you must challenge your brother to a duel. While you are fighting, I will hide." The duel began. The two monkey kings, who looked identical, were tearing each other apart. Sugriva was losing, and Rama, hiding behind a tree, drew his bow. He shot the king, Vali, in the back. It was an act of adharma. It was an assassination. Vali, dying, looked at Rama. "Why?" he gasped. "I did nothing to you." Rama, his heart heavy, replied, "You stole your brother's wife. You broke dharma, and the price is death." Sugriva was now king again. The Vanara, the entire monkey nation, was now allied with Rama. The quest could truly begin. Sugriva was a man of his word. He gathered his generals. He gathered millions of Vanara warriors. He divided them into 4 great armies. Go, he commanded. Search the north to the frozen mountains. Search the east to the rising sun. Search the west to the setting sun. And, Hanuman, you will lead the greatest army south. Search for 1 month. If you do not find her, you will not return. The armies scattered. The great search began. As Hanuman prepared to leave, Rama came to him. He took off his own royal signet ring. "My friend," he said, "if you find her, how will she know you come from me? Give her this. She will understand." Hanuman, his heart overflowing with a divine devotion, took the ring. He bowed. "I will not fail you, my lord." And he and his army, including the great bear king, Jambavan, marched south. For weeks they searched. They searched every cave, every forest, every kingdom. Nothing. The other 3 armies returned failures. Hanuman's army reached the very end of the world, the southern tip of India. They stood and they looked at the ocean. They had failed. The trail was cold. But then they met. Jatayu's brother, Sampati, a great vulture who had seen Ravana's chariot fly over the sea. He pointed his great wing. He took her there, to the island of Lanka, 100 leagues across the water. The monkey army despaired. 100 leagues? Across the ocean? We cannot. We are trapped. But Jambavan, the wise bear king, turned to Hanuman, who was sitting quietly. "My son," he said, "you are quiet. Have you, in this, forgotten who you are?" Hanuman looked up. I am a monkey." "No," Jambavan smiled. "You are the son of the wind god. You have a boon. You can fly. You are the only one who can make this leap." And in that moment, Hanuman remembered. His divine power, which had been sealed away, returned. He grew, and he grew. He became a mountain. He stood on the cliffs, prayed to his father, the wind, and he leapt. He leapt with all his might into the sky. He flew 100 leagues across the ocean. He was the first to bridge the gap. He landed alone in the enemy kingdom. The city of Lanka, the fortress of Ravana. Music shifts again, sad, lonely, and beautiful. He shrank himself to the size of a cat, and he began to search. He searched the palaces. He searched the harems. He saw Ravana sleeping, but no Sita. He began to despair. She is not here. She must be dead. And then he found it. A small, beautiful, guarded garden, the Ashoka Grove. And there, under a tree, he saw her. A woman, thin, weeping, her hair matted, guarded by demons. But she shone. It was Sita. He had found her. He hid in the trees, and he watched. He watched as Ravana himself came to her. I find this fascinating. He didn't force her. His boon had a second clause, if he ever forced a woman against her will. His 10 heads would explode. He had to woo her. He begged. He pleaded. "Sita, leave this mortal. Be my queen. Rule the universe with me." Sita was pure dharma. She was disgusted. She picked up a single blade of grass and she placed it between them. "You are not worthy to even speak to my husband," she whispered, her voice like steel. "You are nothing." Ravana, humiliated, snapped, "Fine, I give you 1 month to change your mind. If you do not, my demonesses will devour you." And he stormed off. Sita was alone. She was at her lowest point. She was ready to end her own life. And Hanuman knew it was time. But he couldn't just appear. She would think he was another demon, another trick. He stayed hidden, and he began to whisper. He whispered the story of Rama, the story of his birth, his exile, his quest. Sita looked up. Who was this? And then Hanuman dropped the ring. Rama's royal signet ring fell from the tree and landed right in her lap. She gasped. Who? Hanuman finally dropped from the tree. He bowed. Mother, he said, I am Hanuman. I am a servant of Rama. He told her everything, that Rama was safe, that he had an army, that he was coming. Sita wept with joy. Hope was restored. Go, she said. Tell him I am here. Tell him I wait. Hanuman bowed. I will. But I love this part. Hanuman was not just a diplomat. He was the son of the wind god. He was a warrior. And he was angry. Before I go, he thought, these demons who have tormented my mother, they must pay. He decided to introduce himself. He roared, and he grew. He exploded into his true godlike form, a giant golden monkey god. I am Hanuman, he bellowed, a servant of Rama. And he destroyed the Ashoka grove. He tore up the trees. He smashed the temples. He announced that they were coming. Ravana's son, Indrajit, the most powerful warrior in Lanka, finally captured Hanuman. He was dragged in chains before Ravana. A monkey? Ravana laughed. This is the messenger? I am Hanuman, he said, his voice calm, and I am a messenger of Rama. I am here to tell you, let her go, give her back, or my king will come, and he will burn your city to the ground. Ravana, enraged, ordered him to be killed, but his brother stopped him. You cannot kill a messenger. It is against the rules of war. Fine, Ravana snarled. Then mutilate him. A monkey is so proud of his tail. Set his tail on fire. The demons wrapped Hanuman's giant tail in oil-soaked rags, and they lit it. They laughed as the monkey god's tail became a giant, blazing torch. And Hanuman just smiled. A torch? He thought. A wonderful idea. He shrank. The ropes fell off, and then he grew. He burst his chains, and he leapt. He was now a giant, godlike being, with a tail on fire. And he ran. He ran, and he leapt. He leapt from roof to roof of the golden city of Lanka. He was a comet, a living meteor. He set the entire city of Lanka on fire. He didn't just deliver a message, he was the message. His work done, he returned to the sea, extinguished his tail, and he leapt. He flew back to India, back to his friends, back to his king. He landed, he knelt before Rama. He told him everything. She is alive, she is waiting. And he handed him a jewel, a pearl that Sita had given him. Proof. Rama looked at the jewel. He clutched it. His grief was unbearable. But now, his grief had a target. He looked across the water, towards the smoke, rising from his enemy's city. He knew where she was. He had his army. But, one final, impossible problem. How do you march an army of 1,000,000 monkeys across 100 leagues of open ocean? Hello, and welcome back. When I left you, the hero, Rama, had finally found his purpose. Hanuman had returned from Lanka. The message was delivered. Sita was alive, she was a prisoner, and she was waiting. Rama, his grief now forged into a cold, divine resolve, stood at the very southern tip of India. He had his army, 1,000,000-strong force of Vanara, the monkey men, and Jambavan, the king of the bears. He looked across the 100 leagues of the raging dark ocean. He had his army, he knew where his enemy was, but he had, I would say, a significant logistical problem. How do you march an army of 1,000,000 across an ocean? His first instinct was pure rage. He, the avatar of Vishnu, nocked an arrow. He threatened to boil the ocean dry, to destroy the sea itself for standing in his way. But the sea god, Varuna, rose, terrified, and begged him to stop. "My lord," he pleaded, "do not destroy me. My nature is to be deep. I cannot be crossed. But you have an army. And in that army, you have 2 divine engineers, Nala and Neela. They have a boon. Any stone they touch will float." Rama lowered his bow. The plan was formed, and so began the greatest engineering project in mythology, the Rama Setu, the Bridge of Rama. For 5 days, the Vanara army worked. They tore up mountains. They ripped up boulders. They threw them into the sea. And Nala and Neela, using their divine gift, laid the stones, and they floated. A bridge of floating rock, 100 leagues long, was built across the ocean. The impossible was done. The army of Dharma was on the move. They marched a river of monkeys, bears, and men across the sea. They had arrived. They stood, at last, before the golden, impenetrable fortress city of Lanka. The final, great war was about to begin. Inside Lanka, the mood was not panic. It was arrogance. Ravana, the 10-headed king, was furious. His city had been burned by a monkey. "Who is this Rama?" he roared in his court. "This man, this exile? He thinks he can challenge me, the king of the gods?" He called his war council, his greatest warriors, his son, Indrajit, a warrior so powerful he had once defeated the king of the gods, Indra himself, and his brother, Kumbhakarna, a giant so vast that he slept for 6 months at a time. Ravana was ready for war. He was invincible. He could not be killed by any god. What was he to fear from a man? But there was one dissenting voice. His youngest brother, Vibhishana. He was a good man, he was, and a devotee of Dharma. "Brother," Vibhishana pleaded, kneeling before the throne, "what you have done is adharma. It is wrong. You stole another man's wife. This is a sin. This, Rama, is no mere man. He is righteousness itself. Give Sita back. Beg for his forgiveness. It is the only way to save our city." Ravana was enraged. "Traitor!" he roared. "You, my brother, side with him? This mortal?" In his fury, he kicked Vibhishana from the throne. "Get out!" he screamed. "Go and join your holy man." Vibhishana, his heart broken, realized his brother and his kingdom were lost. He flew. He flew across the battlefield, and he defected. He landed at Rama's feet. "My lord," he said, "I have abandoned my brother. His path is ruin. My path is dharma. I will fight for you." The Vanara army was suspicious. "It's a trick, a spy." But Rama, the incarnation of Vishnu, saw his heart. He embraced him. "Welcome, brother," he said. And in that moment, I believe, the war was truly won, because Rama now had all of Ravana's secrets. The final siege of Lanka began. It was not a single battle. It was a brutal 10-day war. A war of gods and monsters. Rama's army, the Vanara, were incredible fighters. They fought with trees. They fought with mountains. They ripped up boulders and hurled them at the walls. The Rakshasa army, the demons, were masters of dark magic and illusions. The two armies crashed. The losses were staggering. Ravana, seeing his army failing, was forced to unleash his secret weapons, his boss fighters. First, he awoke his brother, Kumbhakarna. I love this character. This giant was so massive and so pious that the gods feared him. They had tricked him into asking for a boon, and he asked for eternal sleep. So he slept for 6 months at a time. Ravana had to wake him up. It took 1,000 elephants walking on his chest, and drums so loud they shattered stone to wake him. He woke up furious. He ate a mountain of food, drank a lake of wine, and then he waded into battle. He was a force of nature. He was the size of a mountain. He ate the monkey army. He swatted them by the hundreds. He was unstoppable. No one could stop him until Rama stepped forward. The god faced the giant. A battle of epic proportions began. Rama, with his divine arrows, dismembered the giant. He cut off his arms, he cut off his legs, and finally, he cut off his head. The first great champion was dead. Ravana was enraged. He unleashed his true weapon. His son, Indrajit, the master of illusion, the man who had defeated the god Indra, Indrajit, did not fight fair. He flew. He turned invisible. He hid in the clouds. And from the clouds, he unleashed his ultimate weapon, the Nagapasha, a storm of arrows that, upon striking, turned into living, venomous snakes. Rama and his brother Lakshmana were overwhelmed. They were covered. They were bound from head to toe by a mass of hissing, venomous vipers. They were paralyzed. They were dying. The Vanara army was defeated. Their leaders were gone. Ravana had won. But Jambavan, the old, wise bear king, knew there was one last, desperate hope. "There is a herb," he gasped. "The Sanjivani, a magical, glowing herb that grows on one single mountain in the Himalayas. It is the only thing that can cure this poison." But the Himalayas were on the other side of the world, and the herb had to be here by sunrise. The quest was impossible for everyone except one, Hanuman. "I will go," he said. He grew to his mountain size. He leapt. He flew across all of India in a single night. He found the mountain. But he had a problem. The entire mountain was covered in glowing magical herbs. He didn't know which one it was. He was running out of time. So Hanuman did the most practical, and I think the most Hanuman thing possible. He uprooted the entire mountain. He lifted the entire Himalayan peak, and he flew back. He flew back, carrying a mountain. He arrived just as the sun was rising. The healers found the herb. They cured. Rama and Lakshmana, the heroes, were back. The war was on. The final battle began. Lakshmana, in an epic duel, finally killed the invincible Indrajit. The champions were all dead, all except one, Ravana, the king. He emerged in his full, terrifying, 10-headed, 20-armed form, and he faced Rama, the man, the final duel, the one that would decide the fate of the cosmos. It was a battle of gods. Rama cut off one of Ravana's heads. It grew back instantly. He cut off all 10. They grew back. He could not be killed. He was invincible. "My lord," Vibhishana, the defector brother, screamed. "The boon, it does not protect his heart. His navel, he holds the nectar of immortality in his navel." You must strike there. Rama understood. He knocked the 10-headed, the invincible demon king 10 finally fell. He was dead. The war was won. The demons were defeated. The cosmos was saved. Rama had his victory, and now he would finally get his wife. Sita was brought to him, weeping with joy. She ran to embrace him, and Rama held up his hand. "Stop," he said, his voice cold. "I find this to be the most shocking moment in the entire story." "Stop," he said. "Sita, I did not fight this war for that you. I fought this war for my honor, for my family's name. You have lived for a year in the house of another man. You are defiled. I, a king, cannot take you back." Sita was shattered. After everything, her loyalty, her faith, this was her reward? She was furious. "My body may have been touched," she cried, "but my soul has never wavered, and I will prove it." She turned to Lakshmana. "Brother," she commanded, "build me a fire, a massive funeral pyre." She turned to the entire army. "I will walk into this fire," she declared. "The Agni Pariksha, the trial by fire. If I have ever once, even in my thoughts, been unfaithful to my husband Rama, then let the fire god consume me." Rama said nothing. He watched Sita, prayed, and she walked into the blazing inferno. The heroes wept. The monkeys screamed. And then a miracle. The fire god Agni rose from the flames. He was unharmed, and in his arms he held Sita, untouched, unburned, her dress not even singed. "She is pure," the god boomed. "She is dharma, and only now." Rama smiled. "I knew it," he said. "I had to show the world," and he finally took her back.
Santa 17-year-old mental is about to the moon. Can you